Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. And first on the agenda is relief from the outer 50-foot of the 100-foot wetland surface water conservation district buffer. Julie Reserve Family Trust owner and Rick Martin applicants are seeking relief from the outer 50 of the 100-foot with district buffer to build a deck and porch that will be 54.8 feet from the brook and 52.18 from the wetlands. The property is located at 355 Blackbrook Road, map 9, lot 36-1-1. But we have somebody here?
Should we roll call first?
Oh, we should introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can sit down still.
Rick Martin, Sunset Builders, I'm the contractor.
And I'm Bob Stewart with RCS Designs, I'm the wetland scientist.
Okay, do you want to introduce?
Yeah, I'll start. Richard Manzo, Select Board Rep.
Evelyn Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Patty Gale, Planning and Zoning Assistant.
Jean Walker?
Dan King.
David Neiman. Andrew Chaplin.
Susan Becker.
I know, I was anxious to get going.
Okay.
Have a seat, fellas.
Sure.
So this is, I snuck this on the last minute because they submitted to go on June 11th. And as part of when you're impacting the outer buffer, we provide comments to the planning board for their waiver of the outer 50 feet. So they are here to explain their impacts to you, so you can provide comments to the planning board.
Sure. I'm going to do a quick presentation.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. On the plan that you have in front of you, this building right here, that's all white or clear with no shading, is the existing building. On the back side of that building, this little square here is currently a deck. They're going to turn that into living space. So there's no impact because of that, but they would like to do a screening porch and an open deck right next to it. So the impact to the buffer is this unnamed stream, which is a tributary to Blackbrook. And so I went out, did the delineation, surveyed it in, and drew the setbacks. And as you just stated, we are 52.18 feet from the proposed deck to the wetland and 54.8 feet from the deck to the stream bank. We also added in this round shaped thing here is a silt sock, compost filter silt sock, which I've made the contractor aware that contractors always like to use these wood chip silt socks, and they don't work. They're just too porous. So the compost ones. So anyway, we put that there. And also to add in a drip edge trench along the drip edge of the building for stormwater management, cleaning that first flush of rain that comes down through. There is a chain link fence that goes around the property. In a bunch of the different requirements that you have, one of them was an NHB check for endangered species and plant communities and so forth. And that came back with a Blanding's turtle hit, which apparently there's a Blanding's turtle sighting within a mile of this site. I talked to Fish and Game about that. They said that it wasn't on or near this site, but within a mile of the site. We talked about mitigation as far as to make sure that typically what they worry about, especially this time of year with Blanding's turtles, is they're nesting up. And so when they see an area that's all sand, and it's nice fresh sand, that's a great opportunity for them to go dig their nest and so forth. In this particular case, all the work is being done inside of this chain link fence, Because it's chain link, there's not a whole lot of room for those blanding turtles to get through that. And so, rather than do silt fence and so forth on this project, Fish and Game thought it was appropriate just to leave it as is and not do any further kind of mitigation to, because they feel it's very protected at that point.
Well, I think that the holes in the chain link are smaller than the holes in the fencing that we would have to put up, so.
Right. The, let's see, what else do we have? The stream itself, it's a tributary, and I think it starts about maybe 3/4 of a mile away. So it's probably 4 feet wide. Actually, maybe a little bit more than that, 5 feet wide. But it's very shallow. And when I was there, which was early May, when we first started this, the leaves hadn't come out yet. And so, and you might be able to see it, but if you look on the PDF that I sent on a computer, you can zoom in on the water itself. There's quite a bit of algae in there. And I have a feeling that, and it goes upstream. This goes like this, and actually like this. And so there's a few houses upstream of that, and I have a feeling that there's a fair amount of phosphorus being introduced into that because of that algae. Now it is that time of year where the sun was getting through and beating down on that, so which, allows that algae to really grow very well. It probably subsides around this time of year, but it was pretty evident that something's happening upstream that's really compromised this stream. I'm open to any questions.
I do want to note too that they have an existing garage that's actually closer to the wetlands and the stream than where they're building.
Which is right here.
Okay.
Is there access to the construction? Could you go around that garage? Or would you go around the
No,
house?
we're gonna be going up across the front yard and driving in that way, so we
This
won't
way.
be impacting.
The opposite
Yeah,
way.
right. So we won't be impacting anything
So
near the
you're adding
wetlands.
a porch and a deck.
Yeah.
And they're going to
Screen
build
porch
a
like that.
Yeah,
living
just a
space.
screen porch.
It's the screen porch, yeah. There's an existing deck there now? Yeah.
Yes, on the very back, this square here.
That's the one that's going to be converted to
That's
living
one
space?
that's
Okay.
converted to living
Yeah.
space.
You have any questions, anybody?
I was just gonna comment that where the proposed deck and new porch will be is currently it's all lawn. It's not, like it's forest soil being disturbed or anything. Lawn is permeable, but not as permeable as forest soil, so it's not a complete and drastic change in that sense.
Right now it's lawn.
Right, there's no impact to the buffer, and there's no impact, no impact to the buffer, and there's no impact to wetlands as far as it goes, no direct impact to wetlands.
And anyone else have any questions or comments? Anybody have comment to send on to the planning board?
I would propose we state that it's a reasonable change, taking appropriate measures to minimize impact, and that I would think
Okay.
we could recommend it.
Give a second on that?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
And you should note that Daniel is the voting alternate because we have some members not present.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll forward that on to planning before you go on, and I'll send a copy to you so you'll see what.
Thank you, you have everything that you need.
Yes, I have it. These plans I'll give to the planning board, the ones you submitted to me tonight, the big ones.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your
Thank
evening.
you, yes.
too.
Do you want to do yours or do we keep going down?
Go down and we can,
Okay, do we have corrections and acceptance of the minutes from April 22nd? Anybody want to make a motion on accepting them? Or corrections?
No, I'm abstaining, I wasn't here.
I see no corrections.
Okay, we have a
motion
second?
to
I'll
accept.
second it.
Except, yeah.
We have a second?
Yeah.
All those in
Yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
Abstain.
David? Okay, we just have some correspondence. I don't know if anybody had any questions on any of that?
It says copy of budget.
That's
But-
in there.
That's in there.
I didn't see it in mine.
I didn't mail it to you.
Well,
I just put
that would be fine, but since everything else was mailed,
I don't mail everything that's listed on the correspondence.
Have you-
well, I meant that
Oh, yeah.
I don't need any of this mailed to me. I can actually look at a PDF in an email.
Any other
And
questions?
that's
on-
actually why I want to see the budget, because that's
He
relevant.
didn't give me the breakdown of what you have, like in capital reserves. I always have to ask for this stuff.
Okay, we have any other
Well-
questions on any of the correspondence?
Yeah, I want to discuss the budget. So, I mean, I wasn't here for the previous meeting where I presume you may have discussed it in detail, although I didn't see anything in the minutes that indicated that. The budget was cut, and I understand why. But I also think we should seriously look at ways in which we can save money. And one of the ways we can save money is to not have this mailed to us. I mean, the postage has always been one of the bigger things in the budget, but I don't know what it is, it's not in here. I mean, this one was only $2.17 because it was probably the thinnest package we've ever gotten. Other times they're like, what, $10, $12?
I think, Patty, if you sent us a text,
You can come pick
then
up,
we
or,
just pick
because
it
some of
up.
them do
That's
not.
what I'm just saying, we just,
Or-
You're not
yeah.
required to send them digitally. If you want them, I can scan
No.
everything in.
Send us a text.
But some people don't want them. I have one person I can't email at all on the planning board.
If you sent a text, I think we could pick them
Well,
up. but we
I
don't
mean,
know
when
enough.
they're attached to the email as PDFs, that is perfectly fine. It's 2026 and PDFs have been around for decades. There's no reason to not open up a PDF instead of wasting all the paper and money and expense. If we can do anything to save some money for the town, I think we should do that. I mean, I understand they're discussing how to save $1,600 in bottled water for DPW. Well, we could contribute towards that by saving a few $100s in postage, couldn't we?
But I will note, most of my copying, the applicants provide the copies.
But not the postage.
No,
No,
but I can
that's-
scan in,
that's what I'm talking
email,
about
but
is
if some
the
of them
postage.
want them still hard copies,
yeah, I'd like a hard copy.
I mean, you're right to have a hard copy.
yeah, and
The
I-
planning board, all of them except for 2 get a hard copy.
And I'll stop by and pick it up, just send me a little text,
Okay.
you know, to
I
remind me.
think a
that's
lot of
what-
us, well, we're in town enough, so.
But I like
Okay,
sitting.
Okay,
at
any
the
other
table with a
suggestions?
Cup of tea or something.
anything else on the correspondence?
I'd be happy, just attach PDF. I don't need a hard copy. And
Yeah, I can send you, you're more computerized than some of us.
I don't think there's anybody in this room that isn't capable of reading
No.
a PDF. I mean, come on, this is decades-old technology now. They can read emails, they can use a smartphone, they can read a PDF.
We could do that, but I like sitting at the counter with a cup of tea and a piece of hard copy. And
Yeah.
anyway,
And-
but I can come,
And
don't send it to me, just, I'll come and get it.
Okay, we got that settled. And now, Patty, you're on.
Okay, so, the plan review, so this is map 29 lot 62. It's Echo Properties renovations, actually now changed to 12 South Mass Street LLC. So this is like 2 away from Cumberland's. They are adding a duplex to the property, detached, that will make this become a multifamily. They did go to ZBA, they did get a variance because the definition of a multifamily is 3 or more attached, or you do separate units, but you have to have at least 2 in each one, and there's a single-family home, if you remember Edna Carlson, that's her old house there. So there are no wetlands in it. If you look at the plan in front of you, they are building, they had to do a drain study. They actually have to revise that because they did it on a 25-year storm, not the 50-year storm. But they are putting in infiltration trenches to catch so there's no water leaving the site going to any of the abutters. If you look at, they are proposing to relocate the driveway further east.
So we're now talking about a shared driveway.
It's one property.
It's what, yeah.
It's gonna be multifamily. They're not like condos. It's gonna be one driveway coming in and there'll be like, an area for each one to park.
Right, but someday, somebody's gonna die and they're gonna, and then what, two structures, right?
No,
No, one structure.
There's a single family,
Yes,
there's a single family on it, and then they're gonna, if you flip the page.
we looked at this before, didn't we?
No. I wanna bring this down so you can see. So,
okay,
yeah, so this is existing.
okay.
They're relocating the driveway more towards the east. They're gonna build each unit will be 1,058 square feet, a duplex that kind of is in the back, kind of that field.
Right.
Sudaka is right here, if you remember that. This is a single family. It says 3-family, I don't know if it's a 3 or a 2. 2-family cross street, and that's French and Rising right here. And then if you look, they have a bunch of trees in the back.
Another structure,
It's one structure by French and Rising.
These are the infiltration right here.
yeah.
They did ask for a waiver of landscaping. I don't know if the planning board's gonna make them plant one. But they did ask for a waiver of the landscaping because they have shrubs in the back of the property.
Okay,
Well, so but bottom line is it's 3 residences, because it's 1 existing house, 2 duplex, 2
Yeah.
units and duplex. Are these going to be rental units?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
If he was to condo it, because I was like, he would have to come back in again and that would be another site plan.
just so we-
Right.
You'd have to go through the whole process,
So
but
it's
his intent is to just be
definitely not a
multi-
shared driveway because there's only 1 owner.
Yes. One owner.
No.
Any
For
other
now.
concerns or questions on that?
But these were, I think, did the planning board come in and change the building rules like a year ago or something?
So,
The-
the state has done a
Oh, the
lot of
state,
changes.
That's the state, okay.
And they're trying to follow the changes. This has actually been there, as you could this is residential small business office district.
Okay,
This is permitted there by conditional use permit and site plan review, so that's what they're going for. The difference is the reason why they did not attach it is what they said at the ZBA meeting, is the way it slopes down. It was too hard to attach it, they'd have to do a lot of regrading to bring it up. So they chose to do the duplex separately and have it detached. And try and preserve the old character of the existing single family.
Which is nice.
no, that,
Yeah. Okay, any other, we need to send a comment on?
Yeah, if you have any concerns, recommendations.
Do you have anybody have concerns or
I don't have any conservation
Do you want-
related concerns.
I think the
is that a motion?
only concern that we would have, and I do believe it's being addressed, but would be the runoff, because you're adding a lot of new impervious space with the
Right.
duplex, and then all the driveway and parking, it's all gonna be paved, I assume.
Yeah, I believe he's gonna pay.
So that's
Well, either way.
for the size of that lot, that is a huge proportional increase
Big
in
change.
impervious space. Isn't really clear on here, but looks like the existing driveway for the existing house is pretty small,
That's moving.
almost insignificant compared to what's being added. So that's a lot of runoff, a lot of new runoff, and I would hate to see it all running down to the neighbor next door and giving them big problems. Thus, I see they've addressed it with the areas for infiltration,
Yeah,
but what are the soils there? Are they, I mean, I know you go further down along 114, you get into all, it's all
Yeah.
sand. At that site, what are the conditions? Is it sandy there as well?
Well, I haven't reviewed the drainage study, but Scott Ozana has. He was just saying they need to size it for a 50-year storm, not the 25. Is the initial, he just briefly started reviewing it, and he let the surveyor know that he needs to change the size of the storm.
Yeah, so my impression of the plan was that that concern is being addressed. And I'm sure, town staff will look at it. But I would just like to say for our recommendation that we just point out that the only concern we would have would be the runoff from all this massive increase in impervious space, and that they pay particular close attention to that, which I'm sure they probably will anyway, but I still think it should be our comment.
All right, so concern with runoff from the increase in impervious surface.
So these
Because
infill, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Well, so it looks like it's a kind of a
Swale.
swale, grass swale and that, but they're gonna make sure that they, it's
They
that.
can't increase runoff from the site.
Yeah,
Are
and when,
these gonna continue to be mowed and maintained so they, that they,
You can say and recommend a maintenance,
The swale.
because they'll have to do a drainage maintenance agreement. They'll have to do that as part of, planning board will require them to do that.
I mean, I
But you could say.
I think that would be good that we say, maintain it as a infiltration area. And I know this sounds ridiculous, but I mean, people even take clippings that they do for a lawn and then dump it in this lowest level area and, just, so that is going to be very important for runoff and neighbors.
Do you want me, I'm gonna write maintain infiltration area and
Yeah.
recommend drainage maintenance agreement?
Yeah, yeah.
But it tells
Because
me.
they've got a lot, I mean, again, as David pointed out, they've got a lot of driveway and then the new structure. So those infiltration areas are very important to maintain.
Yep.
Because that's all that's basically left on here. And to protect the abutters.
Andrew pointed out that in fact there is soils data on the plan here on the side.
Oh, there is?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
it's all,
drain.
says loamy sand everywhere, so that's consistent with that whole
Yeah.
corridor
So
being
it's
one big
only saying.
Okay.
glacial sand
Well, that's
outwash
good.
plain.
Okay.
So that is good, but again, I still think the recommendation should stand that
Yeah.
that would be our main concern, because also the contour lines do not extend into the neighboring
That's what I
property,
know.
but if you look at some of the numbers, actually they were more on the smaller plan, it did look like it was a couple feet lower than where they're doing the work, so if they didn't have that, capturing that,
slope
it
right
would
down.
be a massive amount of water coming down to this other existing house, and that would be major problems for them. Even with the sand, for a big storm event, normal rain probably not, but a
Yeah.
big storm event.
But, they've added a lot of rooftop and they use driveway surfaces and, right. Okay.
So that's your recommendation to pass on those comments, your concern, David?
Yeah,
Did
just
we wanna say
look
anything ab-
very closely at
Yep.
the drainage and filtration.
Okay.
Now, we're trying to
Avoid runoff.
maintain the feel of independent, small homes. I mean, it's a neighborhood. So are we suggesting anything about landscaping at all, or?
That's up to you. He has requested a waiver of the landscaping. If you feel like there should be more landscaping, you can add that into your comments.
Not much
I
room
don't
for
know if they're-
landscaping, because they're
No.
like filling this entire lot up with, if
I
you
know
look
they
at
are.
it.
The
And
tree-
the only open areas are those two infiltration areas, and you don't want to fill those with bushes or
Well, and
trees.
then what's this proposed, is it proposed dump, D-U-M-P, dump?
Dumpster.
That's dumpster.
It's a what?
Dumpster.
Dumpster. Oh, I think they need, so maybe they could, well,
Well,
I'm
they'll have to
sorry,
probably
but
put
They'll have to do
Enclosure.
something with the
Yeah.
They'll have to
town.
be enclosed.
It has to
Yeah.
be
Part of the development
enclosed.
regs, they have
Yeah.
to enclose.
I understand what you're saying, but Evelyn, but if you look at the drawing for where those infiltration areas are, they pretty much
I know.
two rectangles to the south and to the east. It pretty much fills the entirety of that area. So I don't, you can say you'd like landscaping, but where are you gonna put it?
No, it's maybe a couple of bushes or, put up some kind of.
Well, I
a
think that,
fence here
They're
around
doing
the
some
the
landscape.
dumpster and maybe a couple little bushes but, just,
I have to have an agreement on what I'm passing on. Is that where you guys are
And
at?
I think you need to keep those infiltration areas clear. You can't be filling them with bushes, because then they couldn't make.
no, I
that.
don't want, you're right. You don't want that to happen. Well, then it should be, then a.
Screening around the dumpster?
Yeah, is
yes.
it like a
I think
stockade
they do make
fence or
them do
something
that
like
anyway,
that?
so-
Something that's,
Well, just David's a motion. Yeah, they'll make them put at least a fence around it, but you screening around the dumpster?
Green.
Yeah, I don't care about the dumpster.
well,
I'm just looking at the environmental issues, which is our prerogative, not,
no, we did long
Landscaping
ago
is
talk
part
about
of-
landscaping
yes.
is an important part of, and it has made a big difference on Mast Road when,
But I can see in this case why
Commercial
they're
fence.
asking for a waiver from the landscaping, because they're filling up the whole lot, and they need this infiltration area.
I'm not
Where are
talking
you
about
gonna put
major
landscaping?
landscaping, David, it just so that,
Okay, well, some tulips would be nice.
Native plants.
Do you want to write it, say in a way, if the site can accommodate more landscaping, we would
Yes.
recommend?
It would be preferable.
Yes, do it that way. And that way,
I don't think
They
we can
will do it.
mandate any,
If
or,
this
well, we
They can
can't
find a
mandate
place to
anything
put it.
anytime
can
anyway.
accommodate ones.
more landscaping.
and it doesn't have to be major, just, I think, a little.
That will do it.
I mean, it's sandy, I'm not sure how much will grow there.
Okay, is that,
It's having sandy soil.
you gonna second it?
I'll second that motion.
Andrew?
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
And I am adding the drainage maintenance agreement, as she was saying,
She-
just so you know, I'm adding it
yes.
to your motion, David.
She had motioned that in.
Well, that's a good
already.
addition.
Okay.
We get that. Okay, David, you have anything on open space?
While I was gone, there was an email about the Open Space Committee, a couple members needing to be reappointed.
Yeah.
So the two members are Charlie Bedard and Julie Grand George. I've reached out to them. I haven't been able to get a hold of Charlie. I believe he's traveling. He travels a lot. I don't know for sure. But I did talk to Julie, and Julie wants to be reappointed. And we talked quite a bit about, needing to actually do something. We haven't even had a meeting in like 3 years. We haven't been more concerned about projects getting finished than have been about getting some of these other things done. Now's the time to start getting some of the other things done because the projects are finished. So we'll have to pick a date to have a meeting and then also start scheduling some site walks. Now, I wanted to do site walks last fall and we deferred to the winter. It didn't happen in the winter because actually I wasn't physically able to in the winter, which I'm not going to go into my medical history, but I'm all healed now. And now it's really, really bad tick season. I mean, the ticks are
It's really
just,
There,
and I thought it was my imagination, but I
Yes.
keep hearing on the news how bad they are, so
oh, I'm on doxycycline because
I
I've
find
had
them all the
some major
time.
tick.
I think the last thing I want to do is defer again, but I think maybe if we defer to July or August,
They'll be
or
gone.
there'll be less.
It'll be drier.
They usually drop off a bit in July and August and have another
They come
peak
back.
in the fall, and
Right.
so
August.
I'm thinking of, site walks at Page Hill Marshland for stewardship inspection and recheck the boundaries, and then also up around the Waldvogel tract. And those are both gonna be really loaded with ticks,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would like to defer those until August, July or August,
Site walk.
Early
July,
August. Before the fall peak begins.
It is a big tick season.
Back to being reappointed, do you want the board to make a motion to reappoint Julie and Charlie on the open space, so we can at least get that?
Well, definitely for Julie, I haven't, like I said, I haven't,
Someone has to
haven't
make a
reached
motion
Charlie
to-
yet, so I don't know if he's still wants to or not.
You want to make a motion to,
So I would guess I'd save Charlie for the next meeting.
Okay, so you're motioning, who's seconding to do Julie?
Make a motion to reappoint Julie Grand George to the Open Space Committee.
Second?
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Okay.
And during the winter, I don't remember what month it was, maybe February or so, there was one application for someone who wanted to join CC. And at the time, I think, they were told there's no vacancies
Is that join for conservation or join for your?
for
Yeah.
conservation.
Yeah,
Oh,
kind
but
of
I
agree
have
with
to-
that.
Yeah, I'll have
But I
to,
remember
you
the-
want me to reach them, see if they want to be on open space?
I remember the resume looked really good. They had a background in biology, and I just thought, wow, this person would probably be a really good fit.
Open space.
And
I don't remember
so
the
if they
name.
would be interested in open space, and of course, open space is open to anybody on the CC, so I don't know if anybody on the CC also wants to be appointed to the open space subcommittee or not.
I can reach, I do remember whoever it was we emailed and they never, we asked them if there was other committees that were interested and they never responded.
Yeah, I do remember you did that.
Right, but we can,
I can reach them.
this is, a lot of times I think when people join the CC, they have in their mind, it's gonna be, I'm gonna be out
Outside.
walking outside and doing these things, and
It's the
then
open space.
they end up sitting in this room instead. And sometimes they only come to 1 or 2 meetings and we never see them again. So maybe this, for some people, it might be more appealing
Go outside.
to be
Okay.
going out
You'll
doing
reach out to that
sidewalks.
person? then?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I've tried Jackie,
Yeah.
Jacqueline Cohen,
Okay.
a couple times and she has not responded,
Okay.
nothing. Call,
Oh, I know.
nothing.
Well,
So,
at what point do we officially
She's
drop her?
officially on it until, I think she expires
This-
this next year.
Well,
say it was.
She hasn't officially
resign.
resigned, so I can't do anything.
But really, if they don't, never come to meeting or respond to anything at all, we can't just say,
They have to
okay,
resign.
well.
I even tried calling and
Because that's a shame if that blocks somebody.
that did it, swept
Well, I hate
Would
to
be
say
more
it, but
interested.
You've been doing that for a while though, Patty,
Yeah,
almost every year.
I don't mail her a packet, I email her an agenda now, because it just.
well, this is, I'm sorry.
Okay,
But
so,
when I was chairman,
Yeah.
we had somebody that wasn't showing up, and we were doing a lot of site walks at the time. And I just kind of said, we really need your help, and if you're not going to be able to come, then we need to have somebody that can be there. Because we were doing lots of site walks at that time. And
well,
they
you can't even get a
decided
hold of
that
her on the phone, so,
they
I can do
decided-
an official letter and see if she'll respond by that.
Well, I think it's.
The calls, the emails, nothing.
Okay, but if you're volunteering and I think, but don't show up, there would be other people that might be interested.
Joe,
I don't think
you'll
that's
take care of
inappropriate.
that.
Is there any,
Susan?
I know in our bylaws,
Yeah,
at one time there was something about attendance at meetings or something, but I guess it doesn't exist anymore. But could you put together a letter to her personally?
Yeah.
And then just ask her to sign it and return it if she so
Resigns.
desires to resign.
resign.
Because a lot of people don't want to take the time to
To
write
write.
a letter.
And
And maybe
return it.
include a self-addressed stamped
All she has to
envelope.
do is sign
And all
it.
she has to do was
Sign.
would be to sign and say, yes, I'm no longer interested,
Right.
and send it back.
I can,
Or
but you're
maybe-
appointed by the select board,
Right.
so,
Yeah,
yeah, so I can do the letter and I can do something and see if there's something in the bylaws,
to see.
but you're actually officially appointed by the select board.
Right, but I
Okay.
thought there was
Right,
something about
but-
attendance at meetings. There was
There might be
nothing
something
there.
that town clerk
If you don't-
has
If
too.
you don't show up for so many meetings,
Yeah,
you're,
she
Well, I don't
hasn't shown
think
up
we're,
for over a
it's
year
not like we're
now.
trying to force anything, we're just trying to find
we
out
just like to
Yeah,
have.
if
I don't know if
the
she
individual
moved.
wants to or not.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
true too.
So
Yeah,
the select board appoints, but anybody can resign.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
okay, send a letter, I can do it.
Okay, you take that. Okay, the only other thing we have, and Jane's not here for the river committee,
They had a meeting, I thought, too.
They
Or
did, okay.
Did they have,
so just
Something.
somebody can make, anybody has anything else, otherwise?
I do.
make-
I have something.
Yes, Susan.
as a Conservation Commission, we voted to not allow that house that was gonna be built on Mountain Base Pond Road. We said the site was not appropriate, and the planning board overrode us and allowed the building to happen. It is, when I just looked at this, what he came and showed us was like a Cadillac compared to what they have done to that stream already.
No, that's not this is.
Do you remember what the law, that's the
This is
one
a different
further
place.
down.
It was it's the second house in, it was steep.
Just below.
It was
I
just
have
like a
some- I have
giant
some
bowl
pictures.
going down to.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they weren't supposed to cut the buffer, and they did.
Yeah.
Scott Ozana has gone out there.
They cut everything within, I'm gonna say, 5 feet of the stream. And now they put the septic in, it's sand, it's bark mulch, they mulch the trees, they have a silt fence, and it's up against the silt fence. It's terrible. It's all gonna slide into that stream.
It's
I mean,
just-
when we're being fussy about things, I can't believe the planning board
I can't believe the
allowed
planning
them
board.
to
Well-
do what they've done. Because they put a septic
Right.
in, they drilled a well. I have pictures. I mean, I'm probably not supposed to walk on the sites. I try to do it from the road, but it is really
But
terrible.
I think this is not a little stream like we saw on that other site.
Right, it
This-
drains Mountain Base Pond.
It's a mountain-based small lake pond, and it has a dam. And the state asked us to do an emergency plan for the people that live down the road, where the stream follows along, if that dam goes. And this stream originally had cut, you can see the gorge, it's almost like a gorge coming down the road, and then there's a huge culvert that comes, because it's on one side of the road, and then it goes across there, and then it goes onto this property. And looking at the way it's cut, it's steep embankment there, and over the years, it has cut exposed huge boulders. This had a lot of water coming through there, is another possibility of that happening. I can't believe that they approved.
But I can't understand why they could clear, and then when there's silt fence, the only markings on the property were a pink tape on a few trees, but they were right next to the stream. I mean, it's not, and now they're, cementing and all they've built
Oh, yeah.
themselves,
It's just-
because it was raining, they built themselves a channel that takes the water from
Okay.
the site
Well-
of what they've dug and what they've put in
Well,
out to the
Jack
stream.
should be checking all that too.
He should be, somebody needs to be
So
down there.
if you want, send me the photos, and like, you can do, as conservation, you can say
Okay.
we have an issue with because it's not following, it sounds like it's not even following the plan that was approved.
I didn't know what
And I
the
know
setback
Scott
was.
Ozana had commented and went and saw that site and said something to Joanne about it. But you can do official,
But the thing is,
Complaint,
not
and you
only
can
did
act
we
on
not
it.
approve, like the lot size, but then it's changed ownership. So they put in they put in some kind of foundation, and now that ownership has been they sold the lot to somebody else, and they're putting in a different structure there that, I mean, it is.
so the person who came in when they were doing it is the builder that's doing it. He
Initially,
yes. Yes.
so he owned the lot.
So he was buying it to build this, so he knows everything he was supposed to do. He's the actual person, it was a builder.
That's a
So the
builder.
builder now has sold it to somebody else, but he's still doing the work?
He still's building it, and I believe he's building it for somebody else, but, if they're not following the plan, like I can take you can email me, she can write up something saying, that's all right, anyone has a right to complain about if they're not following how it was approved, then they need to send them a violation letter and see what remedy can be done.
And honestly,
I don't know
the
what
little
can be done.
fence
It
at the
probably
bottom
shouldn't
is
have been
supposed to
built on
keep
in the first
keep
place.
anything from
And I
going
think
into
that's
the
what we had
streets.
said, but
I
then
mean,
planning
it's
board
just
overruled it.
amazing. We live, I drive by it all the time.
I went by it yesterday and
Yeah,
stopped because
it's
of
just
the,
shocking, yeah,
Yeah.
and so.
Well, before we even discussed it in our meeting, I had gone out to see it. walked to see the site, and I just could not believe that such a
Right.
proposal would even be made. I mean, since almost 25 years, whatever amount of time I've been on here, I can only think of 2 or 3 times that we saw something so egregious that we
That was
said,
this-
you
that's how
shouldn't
bad
do
it
it.
is.
Because we know when we say that, it's going to be ignored, so
That's
we
one
always,
of them.
you know, we try to be more
It's
constructive.
really a
But
steep
that
from
was
the,
the worst I've ever seen.
and they cut the wood right away.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard about it, and so we went to go look at it, and it's already been, all the trees have been taken down too. Oh, well.
Yeah, you only need those to
Okay,
stabilize
so
the soil,
we
which
do
is
wanna
already
send a-
unstable.
Yeah, so conservation, if the
Conservation.
commission wants to send a letter that's not following the approval and you got
We have
concerns
concerns.
with the trees that were cleared, the fill that's
And the
been brought
runoff
in.
into the brook.
And how much fill is
Fill.
Okay,
right up to those silt fencing.
and you'll send me the
It's
pictures?
sand, it's just,
Yeah, how do I send them the pictures?
Just what like when I email you,
I'll
you
just-
can
I'll
attach
send
it and reply
Okay,
to
I will,
something
I
like
will.
that.
Okay.
I think when we did that emergency plan, this stream, it is definitely goes right into the Manchester water supply, in a sense. I mean, that was one of these important areas. No, it continues on through,
Goes down the river, goes
down,
crosses, it becomes, I'm trying to think what the brook is. Follows Walls Road, then it cuts through.
Is it Dan Littlebrook? No, that's not it. Is it Dan Littlebrook?
Dan Littlebrook?
Does he start up there?
It starts at the lake, it starts at Mountain Base
Same
Pond,
Mountain Base Pond.
and then it runs into.
Where does it end?
And it crosses
into the
over.
river Where they built, I believe it goes into the river where they built those other condos.
Like it goes
across
down
from
by the villa.
I think it comes down.
Oh, in
Yeah.
the back of the villa?
It
I think
follows
it's Dan
walls, crosses
Littlebrook.
I
under,
think it's Dan Littlebrook.
Okay.
goes down. I think that's where.
In back of the
that's where it
villa?
goes.
Yeah,
okay.
Is
But
that Dan, is that what it is, Dan?
I think so. I could be totally wrong, so. It's just sticking in my mind is when they did that presentation for the
Right.
for the
Telephone poles.
condos.
Condos.
Yeah,
That's what they call
because
it.
it's near like that cemetery.
Yeah.
well, it's not
And
an
it goes under the
incidental
road.
little creek.
And then it eventually goes into Glen Lake.
Yeah,
Yes.
goes into the Glen Lake there.
Oh, it's near the
But it's
villa.
still,
I
it's
will
not,
send them, I will send them to you. But somebody from town should go down and look. The damage is done.
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
What the,
They-
Do you
I
have a
think-
recommendation, like should
I
they
think they need,
have them make them plant trees?
well, I
Oh,
think they
Lord.
need hay bales in
I
front
don't
of
think
the
they-
silt fence.
I can't believe it
Because
was,
they're-
I'm sorry. That
There's
was-
no
I
hay
know.
bales or silt fencing to protect?
Hay bales in front of the, is that gonna, will that help?
There is still fencing,
Oh, it's not,
but it's
I'm not sure that, yeah, that's not gonna hold back.
That's not
It's
gonna
Looks
make
like
very-
it's got, looks like it's got a lot of mass behind it.
Well, this
If
is all
they have a
chips
good
and
I mean, yeah.
rain,
everything.
it's not gonna hold back that.
And I'll talk to Scott from DBW, because he'll have a copy of the plan too, and I'll ask him to look at it. Scott's gonna love it.
Well, David, I agree with you, it's one of the worst things I've seen since we've been on for ages.
But
Never mind.
I'll let everyone know.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Susan. Okay, I don't make anything else? Make a motion, anybody, to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second on that?
Oh, yeah.
No, you
Did-
Oh,
Andrew
John,
said-
that Andrew, I am so sorry, I jumped it too
No,
fast.
you had it.
I'll watch you next time.
Next time, next time.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed?
Okay,
Abstained?
meeting's adjourned. Do you want to